if you think about it, I mean, I know over decades past, there was traumatic situations going on and what have you. But if you kind of look at the way that things are now, I try to focus on like the vibe of stuff. And it's like, especially since we had COVID,
Hmm.
we went through 2.5 years of a pandemic where um they've made us one scared to even be in the presence of another human being, let alone any of the sociable things that humans used to do, you know, uh before now. Um can you tell me, I got a question for both of y'all. When in America have we ever been afraid of the common cold? You know?
I mean, that's
I mean,
Wait a minute,
that's
hold
where they
on.
got it at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all know me and my stance on all that stuff. So I'm gonna stick to it until I don't. You know what I mean? But
I think history repeats itself. I mean, the last, besides COVID, the last like huge thing like this was what, the plague, the Black Plague, and for a while that had people scared too. In
yeah,
another 100 years or so, it may be another something stronger than COVID that's gonna come around that's gonna have people more scared.
shit ain't gonna be that long. Let them keep talking about it, man. Shit, looking for looking see what's gonna happen this winter and everything as well. But I mean, look, that's the thing. We in a point where you know the roles have been played to the point where we can't we suppressing ourselves like like the government has citizens suppressing themselves when it comes to speech. Like you can't even talk to each other about some of these things, man, because they're like, oh nah, man, you must be crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. Nah, man, it's weird what I'm trying to say, man, but it's almost like when you're talking about catching colds and this whole the whole COVID thing and all that, and then it's like, I remember there was a time that we were being told, hey, this came out of this country, out of a lab in that in this particular country, and it was because of some research that they were doing that they shouldn't have been messing with.
Hmm.
That's that whole gain of function thing. Now, because of the individuals who were telling us that, we were convinced to ignore it because at the time, and that's the crazy thing because it was a sitting president that told us, and people didn't want to believe the sitting president. Like, I don't know, that's a whole nother thing that got to me. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the whole stuff, the way the end of Trump's presidency went and stuff, because it was like even up to the point where they took him off of social media. Like, you took a sitting president off social media. Wow, okay, but I mean that whole end of that thing. It's like we are talking about the most powerful man in the world at the time. That's what any president is. That's what we're told any president is that's the most powerful man in the world because he's the leader of the free world of the most powerful country. Okay, if nothing else, look, information is power. So what you're telling me is that the sitting president has access to the most powerful knowledge in the world, information,
Supposedly.
information in the world. So now you want
Mhm.
me to tell? Now you're telling me that when this president is telling you, "Hey, this country's under attack and the world's really under attack, and this is what happened," and actually we might have some players in our own country that's contributed in this, mm, but don't nobody want to. We want to act like he don't know shit. Like he ain't been taking briefings and stuff the whole time. I don't, I don't know. A lot of the stuff just kind of keeps. I don't know. I ain't gonna say. Yeah, agitated. It just keeps me agitated sometimes, man. 'Cause it's like, I remember people be like, "Man, we need someone to come along, man. If we had someone come along, man, and we know this government corrupt as hell. We need somebody to come along, man, and point out that corruption and lead." You know, could you imagine if we ever got a president who got in office and then started telling us the shit that was going on behind closed doors? That was the biggest issue with Trump from the whole get go, is that they can't control his mouth, man. They can't control what he's going to say. They don't control him.
I think the thing that's wrong with us as a people is the fact that we claim that we want to know about things, right? We want to know about this, we want to know about that.
And then when
But once
people bring
it's
it to us,
told
we
to
don't listen.
us, yeah, like we don't listen or be scared of it. Stuff like this whole time we've been speculating about aliens, so forth and so forth. Then they came out and said that Area 51, what the whole speculation was, and confirmed that aliens is real.
Yeah,
But it
we
confirmed
know.
UFOs is real, but it's still the same shit. But it's like still. And then now what? Ain't nobody talking about it no more. But it's like,
Yeah.
what
Well,
was all the
Congress
hype at?
Congress was talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Last year they was holding, or no, that was early. We're still in 2022. I'm I'm trying to get the year over with for some reason. But we Congress was holding hearings over it and stuff. That's the shit that was tripping me out. I was talking to my wife about it when it was going on. I'm like, I can't believe we're living in an era where our official United States Congress is sitting here right now discussing aliens, UFOs, and what's going on out of space, and the evidence that's kind of been hidden, you know. And this is not like on the top of everybody's, what I'm saying, conversation pieces right now. You know what
Tell
I'm
me
saying?
about
Like, this is stuff that people have been talking about forever. Like, man, we know our government know more than what it's been telling us. Man, look at all this extra technology we done came up with in the last 50 years and 60, and blah blah blah. And then when while the shit's happening, and while they're sitting here and admitting to it and going over the facts that they do know, or at least what Congress can get out of them, it was yeah. If you watch the Congress hearings, on a regular, you'll see that people that testify in front of Congress go there with the intent of saying nothing to
that's
begin with.
why
You
that's
know what I
why
mean? So what you're gonna get out of them, you know, what I'm saying, it varies. It depends on the congressman. You know what
well
I'm
you,
saying?
you do remember what I always said, the greatest thing that President Trump did, um outside of whatever taxes, tax cuts, fu- all of that was meant nothing. He put the United States military in space. That's going to, over the years, he's going to be considered the grandfather of space travel. I'm telling you, that was the greatest move. That was the most important decision that was made by his administration, by getting that passed and getting it up and going. Because you now put the United States military budget in space. You now put all of that in space. You know what I'm saying? Now they have a way to funnel it and to bring it back to tell the people now, because a recognized portion of the United States government that's its ethics are still considered high, which is the United States military. And I tell you, if that ever is lost, this country's done. Because that's one thing, people do still believe in their military. But um, yeah, I'm telling you, 10, 15, 20, man, 30, when your people that got grandkids, when y'all grandkids get to be y'all age, this is gonna be a whole nother place. This is going to be all of it. This world is going to be so fucking different. I'm telling you, between the concept over there in Dubai where they're building that mirror city. If looking at it, you remember, any of y'all remember the movie Judge Dredd and Mega City and all that? It reminds me of that, where we're going to mega cities that hold 30 million people, and us common folk, we get a fucking shack of a shack of a shack, and you want to talk about seeing some classism at that point, just continue on the path that we're on. Um, in some ways, we probably don't have much of a choice, but we can handle it better because technology puts more people out of work than anything, of course. But yeah, 15, 20 years from now, this world is going to be unrecognizable. You're going to have AI technology that is damn near alive, um, robotics that allows this AI technology to exist along the side of humans. Um, our morals, our way of living is everything's going to be different. You talk about being poor or rich. Oh my God, that's all that's going to be. You
You know,
know,
it's funny that you said that about the AIs because it's a game that came out a couple years ago. It's called Detroit Among Us or something like that, and it was about that stuff too. Like the guy that played on Grey's Anatomy, uh, his name Jason something. I forgot his name, but
okay.
he was the main character in the game. But it was something like that. Like he was like an AI, and like it just shows like how technology took over everything. Like we was using these people to do our daily activities to like make our errands for us and cook and all that stuff, clean our house, all that stuff. And then eventually, they was treated wrong and they turned on the humans and stuff and like kind of like our robot as well. But
Can I tell you,
I believe it's gonna be like that.
Salamander? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to work for free. Okay.
Yeah.
And at some point, even AI technology, once it becomes self aware enough to where it doesn't want to be treated as a slave no more either, it will rise up to be free. That's why it's weird, uh, you have all the different slavery situations, which is labor for free. You have all the different third world countries with that don't pay their people shit, which is basically a form of slavery. Um, Generations go by, and them people make money, and it's just natural that a person will try to take what they got and make better with it. And once you get a few generations of that, them generations like now don't know, ain't they're not doing none of that kind of work their great grandparents and mothers and fathers did. Man, I'm not going in there. Shit, you got me fucked up. I've been living good at home, and I want better than what I had at home. So that kind of work becomes just outdated because people don't, that's considered hard work, and people don't want to do it no longer. That's why the immigrants that's coming over now, are so valuable because they work for less and so forth and so on. But they've been here generations, and now they're at the point where, like, I ain't doing that petty ass work either. So AI technology would be the same way. At some point it's not going to want to do that petty ass work. you know